No more football action on the field, but plenty of football action off the field as the team-building part of the year is in full force. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Patriots All Access, presented by Geico. I'm Steve Burton. The calendar reads the end of February. Free agency starts in less than a month. The draft is in a little more than 2 months, so there's a lot of work to do for the Patriots. Let's begin our show as Dan Roach has an update on the state of the team.
The Rams were built to win the Super Bowl, and they have sealed the deal.
A Super Bowl champion has been crowned, and we're officially on to the off-season here in Foxborough. Team building has begun for the Patriots, and there's much work to be done. Change is inevitable each year in the NFL, and not just on the field. In the front office, Director of Player Personnel Dave Ziegler has left for Las Vegas. College Scouting Director Matt Groh steps into that role.
We all love ball. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we do. So to get in there, to be able to watch guys and talk about guys, I think that's what everybody loves to do.
There's some shaking out to do as far as the coaching staff is concerned. Josh McDaniels is the new head coach of the Raiders, and going with him are assistants Bo Hardigree, Mick Lombardi, and Carmen Brasillo, while Ivan Fears is expected to retire. Meanwhile, former Giants head coach Joe Judge returns as an offensive assistant. As for roster building, the NFL free agency negotiating window opens on March 14th, while the signing period begins on the 16th. The Patriots have lots of decisions to make on many of their own free agents, such as Matthew Slater, J.C. Jackson, Dante Hightower, Trent Brown, and Devin Mccourty.
Drifting left, throws a deep ball to the near side, intercepted. Devin Mccourty waits on it.
Welcome to the NFL Draft. Come on!
As for the NFL Draft, it takes place April 28th through the 30th in Las Vegas. The Pats currently have 6 picks, including the 21st overall pick in the first round. Well, as we all know, change is inevitable in the NFL, and once again, we'll have change here in Foxborough with the Patriots. But I think Patriots fans need to rely on the old adage, in Bill we trust. Steve?
All right, Roachy, good stuff. We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
Coming up on Patriots All Access.
Finally, Richard Seymour gets the knock on the door he's been waiting for.
Seymour! You know why I'm here. Hey.
But first, we check in this offseason with quarterback Mac Jones.
I love football, and I love to keep going as best I can.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots. By Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off. And by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, official soft drink of the New England Patriots.
I'm Lauren Spencer with your first Patriots social media minute of the 2022 offseason. Love was in the air during Valentine's week, including plenty of love on Twitter for Matthew Judon. We let him read some of the best tweets fans sent in about him during the season, and his reactions were on point.
Matt Judon, I love you. I love you too.
With some extra time on their hands this offseason, players have had the opportunity to ponder some of the internet's most controversial questions, including pancakes versus waffles, or the top 3 ways to consume Gatorade. There's meeting your heroes, and then there's meeting Tyler Harrow. Damian Harris showed some love for the Miami Heat guard earlier this month when the two met in exchange respective jerseys. That's all for our latest Patriots Social Media Minute. I'm Lauren Spencer.
Mac Jones' offseason got off to an interesting start with a Pro Bowl selection and a front row seat in Los Angeles for NFL honors. Our cameras caught up with the Patriots quarterback on Radio Row.
The 2022 Pro Bowl right here in Las Vegas.
It was really fun to be there with, my teammates too, that we had there for the Patriots was awesome.
Mac's gonna run right out of the stadium. Mac Jones. Welcome to the 2022 NFL honors.
When I was watching the honors ceremony, I was thinking about how cool it was to to be up there watching people get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and like someone, even like Tony Baselli, for example, that I knew from being in Jacksonville was up there, or like Leroy Butler, like how he got inducted. His high school coach was my high school coach. So it's like things like that. Richard Seymour, like everything with the Patriots. It was just really cool to see the whole 9 yards of people and all that. I want to be back close to home in New England in the off season, and just because we obviously have our place there, and just figuring out ways to become a better quarterback, and then do whatever we can to put more points up on the board so we can win more games.
Fires down the middle for Gordon, reaches up, extends, slams in the end zone between two defenders.
I think back to like my freshman year at Alabama. You know, you're kind of figuring everything out, and then you get older and you're just more experienced with everything, the media, the games, everything.
Matt pumps, he throws to the back of the end zone, caught by Wilkerson, touchdown, Patriots.
I think that's the fun part about everything in the offseason is you get a second just to catch your breath and figure everything out, and this has definitely been the longest year. It's been like almost 2 years of football, and you know, I love football and I'd love to keep going as best I can, but it's always good to step away and evaluate what you can get better at too.
That's a tweet there. Adele is incredible. I'm gonna go with Matt Judon, maybe. I mean, he's our resident music guy. Damien, I can also see that. I could definitely see that. Go Dogs, always and forever. David Andrews. Yeah, I mean, come on, David. Tweet some new material. We're sick of hearing about the Dogs, man. When the going get tough, you gotta go harder. Drip, drip, level up. Quadruple emoji here. You know, I'm not seasoned with this Instagram, or what, Twitter. Yeah, you know what this is. Jawan Bentley? KB, I can see that. When is it appropriate to hang lights up on your house for Christmas? When is an appropriate time to start listening to Christmas music? Because I just drove by someone's house and saw they had full Christmas decorations up already. I feel like that's aggressive. What do you think? Well, first of all, you can't put it up till after Thanksgiving. I'm gonna say KV, maybe? KV! Look at that, I know my guy. I know my guy. That was the last one. I know my guy, KV. All right. I got one, two, I got two.
Welcome back to All Access, presented by Geico. It was special to see Matthew Slater honored earlier this month with the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. Also, Patriots great Richard Seymour received the knock on the door of a lifetime and his call to the Hall.
There we go. Yeah. You gotta get clean with it. Come on.
What you doing, man?
Talk to your boy. Do you know why I'm here?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
You know why I'm here. Hey, it's my honor and my privilege to welcome you, my brother, to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, class of 222, boy. You in. Welcome to camp. Welcome to camp, boy. Welcome to camp, boy.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, man. Y'all stop.
How you feel? You good? You good? You good? Hey, you deserve this, bro.
Come to see the Godfather. How are you, my friend?
Hey, surprise.
I know.
How are you, sweetie?
I got I got some good news for you. If you don't mind
come
me
on out
sharing
on
it. Yeah, absolutely. We're here in LA, baby.
Sunny?
Yeah. Well,
So what's going on, big guy?
Yeah, no, well, obviously you've been a tremendous and proud supporter of me throughout my career, and the great organization of the Patriots drafted me, and I only felt that it was right to, let you know first that, obviously tonight being here in LA with the Super Bowl, that I'm the newest member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Awesome. That's great. The difference you made on our team was fantastic. And wow, I love it. That's awesome.
No, I appreciate it so much. Wow. This honor is my legacy. But when you think about it in perspective, like, you're the elite of the elite.
This all-decade tackle was the cornerstone of our New England defense. A selfless, versatile talent who led us to the promised land time and time again. My big little brother, Richard Seymour.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots. By Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off. And by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, official soft drink of the New England Patriots.
Welcome to Walla Walla.
So glad you're here.
Thank you. Too long.
Later this year on Patriots All Access, Patriots owner Robert Kraft visits Patriots Hall of Famer Drew Bledsoe in Walla Walla, Washington for an in-person tour of Drew's Double Back Winery.
But I was like a kid when I bought the Patriots. One of the main reasons I bought it, because we all know how the Patriots were, was we had a real quarterback.
Just admired forever and ever is that you've been able to be so successful and keep your soul intact. And I just love and admire that.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access, everyone, in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo. First of all, good to see you guys.
Great to be with you, Steve.
Big news, Josh McDaniels gone to the Raiders. Huge hole to fill when it comes to the quarterback situation and how they go on to continue to develop Mac Jones. What happens next, Paul?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I agree with the way you talked about it. It is a huge hole, and I would think that way, Mike, even if they had a veteran quarterback, but I think it's exacerbated by the fact that Mac Jones is entering year 2, and now we'll have to sort of get familiar with another offensive coordinator, and I know that they'll probably keep all the same principles in the system. Offensively, he won't have to learn a new offense, and that's a good plus for Mac Jones. But it's not ideal to lose a guy with the amount of experience that Josh McDaniels had. And, Mike, you remember last summer. Did you ever see Josh McDaniels on the practice field with Mac Jones not right next to him? Those two guys spent a lot of time together, Steve.
And to your point, Paul, even with the games, if you watch Mac when he would come to the sideline, where was he sitting and who was he sitting next to? It was like you couldn't say Mac without Daniels, right? Like almost Mac Daniels. See what I did right there, Paul? So look, it's really significant. I want to highlight the point that Paul made, though. The system isn't changing. Usually when a team brings in a new offensive coordinator, they're coming with a whole new system. That's not the way the Patriots do it.
Staying the same.
So maybe that helps in this transition.
Mike, you reported that Matt Patricia may be taking over some of the offensive duties. Okay, they bring back Joe Judge as well. I'm a big fan of Matt Patricia. I think he's a smart coach. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably making the best of what I think is not an ideal situation. I think they have a couple of experienced guys that maybe they can plug in. Neither one of those guys, though, Steve, has a lot of experience coaching on offense. You know, Patricia, the vast majority of his career was on defense, and I think there was 1 year for Joe Judge, right, Mike, with the wide receivers before he left to go to the Giants. So
a lot to dig into here, right? Because they lost more than just Josh McDaniels. They lost offensive line coach Carmen Brasillo. So Matt Patricia's background's with the offensive line, right? When he was on offense.
Makes
so maybe he fits in there. Nick Caley, their tight ends coach last year, I think is someone that needs to be in this discussion. He's a younger coach.
Quarterback guy, right?
Well, he had been with the tight ends, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets more involved with the quarterbacks, because I think he's one they could develop, right? And then Brian Hoyer, the #2 quarterback last year, I think in a lot of ways is like a coach to Mac. And I think he would be an important guy to bring back in some form. He's a free agent right now, so there's no guarantee that's even going to happen. So those are some of my just sort of general thoughts as we look at this. But again, to highlight Paul's point, no one has called the plays.
Right.
Of anyone that we just mentioned, like, that is significant. We cannot overlook that.
You mentioned free agents, and let's talk about some of the free agents that hopefully will be coming back. J.C. Jackson, I want to start with him first.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest one. I think he's the guy in his prime, Mike. I think he's coming off another solid season. I think he's starting to get some recognition around the league this year for the first time, you know, getting some postseason accolades. I think that's going to be awfully tough to retain his services.
Wow.
A lot of people think the franchise tag. I'm not so sure the Patriots want to go down that road and potentially have sort of a disgruntled guy, playing on a tag. Right now, if you're asking me, Steve, I don't think it looks good.
It reminds me a little bit of Malcolm Butler. Remember when he was a free agent and he ended up departing? Like at that, my tea leaves would lead me in that direction, but Bill Belichick would often say, my crystal ball's a little bit cloudy on this one, so I reserve the right to change my mind. Hey, maybe they can hammer out an extension before free agency. That would probably mean that JC would be willing to take a little bit less if they do that. And how many times do we really see that happen?
Right.
That's why it leads me in the other direction.
Couple other guys, Dante Hightower being one.
Yeah, he's a guy that I think might be at the end of the line here, Mike. And, you know, he's been a great Patriot, and I think that he's often talked about, you know, sort of not being willing to play for free. He's made some comments about the numbers in terms of the salary. So I think if you're going to retain him, you're going to have to pay him. And I think at this stage of his career, maybe the Patriots might not look at that as the wisest investment.
And they also might look at the defense and say, let's just go young, right? We have younger, faster options. Let's see what it looks like. And how about Devin McCourty and Matthew Slater, just to put into this discussion?
I see those two coming back. That's where I was going next.
And I see that too. I think Devin wants to play. That's my sense of it, right? And I feel pretty good about that. And my feeling is if Matthew was going to retire, it probably would have happened by now. And I was told he was working out to play in the Pro Bowl, which tells me how much he loves football, right? I don't know, Paul. I don't think he's ready.
I don't think he's going anywhere. McCourty, I'm not so sure about. I agree with Mike. I think Devin wants to still play, and I think he might sort of explore his options.
All right, guys, and that right there is a lot to digest. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks, Steve.
That'll do it for this week's edition of Patriots All Access. For Mike Reese and Paul Perillo, I'm Steve Burton. Have a great week, everybody.